are a shameful mess. Most were built in the early 70s and now are falling apart at the mortar bricks. Students are without proper desks, inoperable toilets, and without toiletries. And this is almost in every city. Every school, and probably in every city too. Classrooms are devoid of functioning computers and other modern learning technology that they need to be successful when they leave school. This is shameful, and every citizen should be angry and outrageous. It is your tax-paying money, and your kids should not have to go to private school to get a good education. And what message are we sending to our precious young people? Well, I tell you what we say. You don't matter. We don't care if you get a quality education or not. We must demand better accountability from our school board members. If not, we'll vote them out of office. Just that simple. I will build new schools, which will be staffed with modern technology. I will ask the city council to float a new city bond to pay for the new schools. I will place a nursery in every high school where dropout is extremely high due to pregnancy. This way, a young lady will be able to return to school and have free child care at the school nursery. Schools will provide free tutoring service on Saturdays, and I will lobby the state legislators and our honorable governor for a much-needed teachers' pay raise. We must attract teachers who want to instruct our students and not wait out their retirement years. Our staff underserved elementary schools with medical personnel. Why? Well, we know that when young children are ill or sick, they will not learn. Educators have suggested for some time that apprenticeship programs should be placed in most schools and be part of the curriculum, thus giving students a choice of pursuing a workable skill after graduation. Most students, as we know, are not going to advance their education past high school. The curriculum would be extended to offer computer science and computer repairing, auto mechanic, furniture upholstering, beauty care, health care training, and other profitable vocations where people can make a living. If this program is realized, a reduction in dropouts and absenteeism, would be reduced. Such added programs would be feasible by asking major corporations to be sponsors to help us. For example, a company would come in and offer their service if they say auto body repair service, and they would send instructors over there, and they could help teach the kids. Cost us nothing like that. And there's little doubt something else that we need, and those are mental therapists and career counseling in every secondary school. Another plank in my platform is employment. For black males between 18 to 29 years in this city and in most major cities, the unemployment rate for these males stabilizes at or near 27%. This is unacceptable in a fruitful nation and in a fruitful city as ours. And we know that high unemployment gives rise to crime. Young souls are lost and citizen lives in fear. Men cannot support a family on minimum wage or a few bucks above minimum wage. I'll do something about that. And how will I solve that problem? I will bring new corporations to this city. I'll do so by offering a reasonable tax break and free land that we have, I believe it's on the south side of the city. But let's be clear. Corporation will not locate to a city where the workforce isn't skilled in technology, and I have a plan for that. My prescription calls for major businesses to lend free interest loans to minorities and women who would like to start a business. And if they do so, these businesses will be able to employ people, and thus the tax base will go up. We must reassess the value of properties which have been undervalued by tens of thousands of dollars for I don't know how long. This is costing the city $6 to $7 million annually. And as your dedicated mayor, I'll put an end to this. I will produce people that will go in there and re-evaluate their property. And no one else has done this here. This is going on too long. Now let's move to what seems to dominate the news. Gosh, I wish I didn't have to go here, but I do. And it's all over the country. It's spelled C-R-I-M-E. It's another plank in my platform that I'm going to do something about. How many of you regularly say, if I could afford it, I would leave this city? Well, you won't have to leave if I'm your mayor. You'll be happy to stay here. You'll brag about it. Politicians lament that illegal guns are the problem. Just get rid of them and we vanquish our problems. No more violent crime. Well, that's wrong. It is more complex than that. Sociologists postulate this. When people see no future, no means to gainful employment, then hope dies, and soon the spirit soul dies, and the hands of crime attaches to them and says to them, I got your back. I'm your answer. It's appalling that most violent offenders are ages 13 through 22 years of age. What went wrong? Where are the mentors? We must demand that our law officials solve violent crimes at a higher rate than they do now. Less than 50% of black-on-black violent crime is ever solved. That means that these criminals just keep killing people or whatever they do. And so the data is skewed one way. To attract law officers who want to be policemen to all of our citizens, I will raise their salaries by 10 to 15%. Free housing will be available for new recruits if they live in a high crime area for 2 years. Don't have to pay a cent. We must house small police stations in high crime communities so our citizens won't have to wait 45 minutes to 1 hour after placing a 911 call. Can you believe that? We will staff certified mental therapists to be available when a call comes in depicting someone who might be with a mental issue. So we'll cut down on shootings and other physical issues there if we have someone to tag along with them. Because policemen are trained to extend force. I would no longer allow policemen and other law officials to use official vehicles for their own personal transportation back and forth, and we won't have this. If this happens, we put an end to this here, we would save fuel and maintenance on those vehicles. And some say this would bring in another $85,000 each year. I'll ask the council to put forth a vote requiring policemen to reside in this parish, to live here. 90% lives outside of this parish. And for those law officials who aggressively say, I would never live in this jungle, well, what do we say, huh? Well, we tell them, don't earn your paycheck in this jungle. Get out. Now to more sensitive concerns with regard to reducing violent crime, we're going to turn to the community. Shouldn't we ask, where are the community leaders and civic organizations and caring citizens? And where are the hands and the hearts of our religious leaders in their congregations? Where are they? Adults must become involved with our youths at an early age, and before it becomes a Herculean task, become mentors with Big Brother, Big Sisters, and their other organization that they could help out. Centers rather could be established for young people for visitation after school and on weekends, and they could feature such things as education, tutoring, computer programming, and mentoring and counseling. And there are also so many other things they could do. And these programs and activities would be funded with federal grant money, which are just waiting to be procured. But we all know this now, that our unguided young people will not be saved with prayers and sympatheticness alone. You must become a guiding light, become a mentor to them. Finally, this challenge has never been tested and done before, but I think it can be realized. I'm going to ask the city council to give me permission to put a surcharge on all of the restaurant and eating establishment in the quarter of $2 to each ticket. And then I'm going to ask them to let me do this. Add $10 to all sleeping accommodation facilities, such as hotels, motel, Airbnb, I guess I got that right. And there we'll be able to pick up $10 surcharge for each payment. And we're going to add 25 cents, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, to every bottle of liquor sold. And for every entertainment that comes across this city, and you know we have so much, we're going to charge $1 more. Now, if these surcharges are realized, well, there will be paid. I can pay for everything that we need here. It is estimated that we'll bring in between 170 to 195 million dollars annually will go into our coffer if we just do what I asked to do. So you see, it's not going to cost you anything. Yes, it might be a slight labor of Sisyphus, but together we'll push that boulder up that hill where we have plenty waiting for us up there. I need your help as your mayor. Please, you must vote for Cass Castile, and I will make the difference. Get her out of office.